guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tita Lavinia of Tita's Pageantry, and for this episode, we will talk about day 2 of Miss Universe 2021. So please make sure you stick around. Please subscribe to the channel as well as hit that bell notification button for your weekly pageant fix. Hey guys, I am back with day 2. So yeah, I guess we're doing this. Just like with Rabia a few months back, I was giving you updates on a daily basis. So I have decided to commit myself to do the same thing. So do wish me luck because editing will be a bitch. But I will be keeping this short for you so that you'd have more of an experience on how it is to really cover Miss Universe. So there. Before I start, I want to give out a few shout outs. I will be updating you on a daily basis, but I will also be serving you looks just like what I did yesterday and today. So if you thought that my look yesterday was out of this world because of my lashes, well, today I'm sporting something different. I have Ariana Grande in mind with my tungkil. So I want to thank Ready Set Glow. They sent me a box full of goodies not too long ago, and I cannot wait to try them. And now is a perfect opportunity for me to play with these makeup. Hooray! Next, I have a few shout outs as well. The other night, I had dinner with the committee members of Fiestang Pilipinas, the good folks who sent me to Cebu last October to cover Fiestang Pilipinas, the launching. So they were in Manila a couple of nights back for the screening for the NCR as well as the Luzon representatives or candidates. And yeah, one of the committee members mentioned that his partner is a fan of this show. So thank you so much. I want to say hi to Efren Abdon Lopez Jr. I hope that you are enjoying pageant season. And my second shout out is super duper long overdue. This one, of course, is for the Fashion Designers League of the Philippines. I know that you requested this for quite some time, and it took me a long while to really browse through the comment section and zero in on this one. And just like myself, who's really excited about the fashion looks at Miss Universe, I hope that you will be excited with the looks served as well. So, we have a number of good news for day 2. Well, actually, it's day 3 or day 4 or day 1, depending on who you're following. But for me, this is day 2. So, day 2 of Miss Universe, like what I mentioned, we do have a number of good news for you. And the first order of business is, of course, Bea's luggage because they found it finally. Now, of course, this is a normal occurrence. When you travel, your luggage gets lost. Sometimes it's delivered to, I don't know, maybe a different country. But it can get a little bit nerve-wracking, of course, especially if you're a candidate competing in an international competition, especially when your luggage is super tight, super well curated. Now, I did not get to mention this in my previous episode, but I did write about this on the Titas of Pageantry page. And according to my source, Bea's wardrobe isn't as many as Rabia when they mentioned that they will be involving 100 designers. With Bea's preparation, like what we have been observing, it's a little more low-key. So according to my source, she doesn't have a lot, but she does have a really tight and well-curated wardrobe that would last for about 30 days. So if one luggage is missing, I suppose that's vital to the whole look because, Bea doesn't really have a lot of room to pull clothes that isn't part of the itinerary that was given to them. So hooray for that. At least Bea will have, it won't be lost in her groove in terms of presenting herself at Miss Universe. And yesterday they were supposed to attend a Black Eyed Peas concert according to Miss U updates, but because of the announcements of one of the ladies testing positive for COVID, that was totally scrapped. So I don't know what happened. For day 2, they had a number of events lined up for the girls and as well as a sightseeing tour. But yes, we will talk more about that. So yeah, luggage found. Next, I also found Miss Namibia because I mentioned in my previous episode that because security is tightening in Israel, the ones who were directly affected were South Africa and Miss Namibia. But as we saw, Miss South Africa, Lalela Mswane, is already in Israel. And I was able to also find out that Miss Namibia is also in Israel. So, yay! She made it as well. Now, we are waiting for a few ladies. We're still waiting, if I'm not mistaken, for Miss Bahrain. We're still waiting for Miss Russia, I think. And of course, Miss USA is still nowhere to be found, but I hope that she was able to gather all of her wardrobe for the international competition and, you know, get her booty in that airport on her way to Israel. So I hope we wish her luck. Next, we got a glimpse of the new arena. That's a good news as well, because, you know, whenever they would say, oh, it's going to be in Eilat, Israel, we had no idea where the final show was going to be held. Now, apparently, they're constructing it. It's prefabricated. It's a bespoke type of arena that came from Portugal, according to Miss U updates. And we saw some footages of its construction. It was overseen by Paula Sugar, the president of Miss Universe organization. And apparently, this has a capacity of 5,000. So I'm not so sure how many people are going to watch the final show, but yeah, that seems promising. They're constructing something from scratch. Next, let's talk about the new sponsors. Now, Muba Cosmetics is still involved with the ladies. In fact, they already released some of the videos. It's Paraguay is, of course, you know, a beautiful face. They also did some work with Miss Spain, if I'm not mistaken, as well as Miss Belgium. But we did get to see a footage of Bea. She was being worked on by some of the members of the MUBA team, and it seems like a footage of her doing some video clips for Miss Universe. So I think this is going to be for the inserts in between the actual show. I also want to mention that this wasn't really posted by Miss Universe. They did for the dress sponsor, but they were outed by Miss Japan, who mentioned that, you know, she was out for a fitting, that they picked shoes, the Cinderella moment. Apparently, Bragais is no longer a sponsor this year, and that they have chosen Journey Collection shoes. When I checked on their social media accounts, I did not see any shoes that would, or any pair that would, I don't know, say pageant shoes, but let's see what they come up with. And of course, the dress sponsors will now be Portia and Scarlett, so it's really the end of an era. We won't be seeing Cherie Hill anymore, but when I checked on Portia and Scarlett, it's pretty similar to Cherie Hill anyway. Maybe more blingy, because we also got to see the opening dresses. It's really sparkly in pastel colors, and it had like that shoulder train thing going on. So yeah. And another important sponsor change this year is Gotex for their swimwear. Gotex, if you're not familiar, it's an iconic brand. It has been around since the 1950s, so they pretty much know what they're doing. So I just hope that they pick a design that's more modern and, you know, really sexy, because Gotex is also known for really sensible designs, you know, great craftsmanship, but maybe the sex appeal factor is just missing a little bit. So I hope that they get to, you know, find a balance, because, you know, Eilat, Israel seems to be a really sexy place. So another great news, at least for the Philippines, is that there seems to be a confirmation that our very own Marian Rivera will be one of the judges at Miss Universe. So she posted a photo of herself on her Instagram account. There isn't a lot there, but there were emojis pertaining to a crown and maybe universe. But later on, this was also announced by the GMA news website. So Marian will join the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Pio Wurtzbach, Lea Salonga, and even Kula Desma as, you know, Filipino judges who made it to Miss Universe. So that's going to be very exciting. Now let's go to the events. So again, like what I mentioned, depending on who you're following, it could be registration for them, it could be just photo ops, but at least for Bea Luigi, very early on, we saw her in a blue dress. This was made by Francis Libiran, and if I'm not mistaken, the inspiration had something to do with cathedral lines, something that Francis Libiran is known for. He did the same linear pattern for Kylie Versosa when she competed at Miss International with the golden pair. No, so Francis Libiran is known for that pattern, and they made it into a mini dress, a blue mini dress. Unfortunately, it did not resonate well with a lot of the pageant fans, including myself. It wasn't for me the right cut. I mean, I'm sure they had, a really nice fitting with the dress because it did look nice in some angles, but with the footages and the photos that we saw, this was a style misstep. But don't worry, this is just day 2. I hope that they would have, more modern and sexier looks for Bea in the coming days. So if you notice, in the blue dress, there were photos of Bea with the other girls and they were all wearing masks. So I think that health protocols have become more rigid right after someone tested positive, because even with just mingling with the others, it was a little different from day 1 where everyone was just so open. So yes, we are seeing more precaution this time. And then Bea changed into a lipstick pink suit, and we saw this from the footage, from the makeup footage of her and Muba. So initially she was in heels, but then she changed into sneakers, which was a huge deal. I don't know why, because there were other ladies who changed into their sneakers because they were given a tour of Old Jerusalem. So the ladies who were there, they were taken to the old part of the city and the historic part of the city, and they had, I suppose, such a grand time. It was like a field trip. You could see footages of Bea really looking up and trying to absorb everything, because that really is a privilege, of course, if you get to visit a country with so much history, so much culture. And I guess the people who were in charge of taking care of them really took care of them. They were able to also meet Paula Sugar at the hotel, and they had tea at the hotel. So we don't know what's in store for day 3 because, like what I mentioned, registrations and fittings, that will be between November 28th up until December 3rd. So by December 3rd, maybe we will see more action, maybe we will see more photo shoots. But for now, I'm going to end this one here. And yes, we will watch out for the rest of the afternoon up until the evening for, new looks and new events to come at Miss Universe. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.